All right, so here today, this is day 6, and we are looking at radicals today. See. F of x is the square root of 3x minus 5. One of the things that's challenging for a lot of students, so we need to focus on it for a little while, find the domain.
You don't even know what domain means.
That's a good point. What is the domain?
See, you didn't know, I knew you didn't know, you didn't know.
Where the function is defined.
Give me more than that. What do you mean by that?
Like if you plot a function on a graph, the domain is wherever you have a line.
You can plug
Or
in
a
and
point.
get it in value.
I told you they didn't know.
I liked both of those. Those both go together pretty well.
That's as good as it gets.
Where the function is defined,
Yeah.
where the function is defined is the overall, the grand view of it. But how can we tell that? We can plug in an x and get a y. So where can we plug in an x? For the domain, there is one other thing we want to keep, and we want the results to be real numbers. That's how we define the domain, or part of it. The result is a real number. Now, if we start looking at complex numbers, I can plug in anything into this function, and we're going to get a valid answer. But we don't want that. Not most applications in real life do not allow for complex numbers. So what are the restrictions on the square root function? What restrictions should we impose?
The interior value should not be less than 0.
Should not be less than 0, or another way of saying it is it should be
Greater than or equal to.
not just positive, it can be 0 too, which is, the way we say positive and 0 is non-negative, which seems weird because it includes the 0, but we're going to do greater than or equal to 0. And so we quickly go through it. I didn't throw that pin away yesterday. Ah! Three x is greater than 5. And we get x is greater than or equal to 5/3, which is 1 2/3. You know what? I zoomed in, and that's going to make it so I never know when I'm on the screen. Let's do that. So our domain, if you did a number line, we're here. We can fill it in, and we're going that way. 5/3 to infinity, including 5/3, but not infinity. All right. What about, let's change it up. Square root of 4 minus x squared inside the radical. So we're going to do the same thing, right?
It's going to be x between minus 1
I don't know, are you sure?
and 2. Yeah.
2 minus x, 2 plus x. So you think it's between -2 and 2? Let's find out. Test regions. We'll test 0, -10, and 10. We can include the -2, so we'll put circles on them, fill them in. If we stick in -10, this is -2 minus, that's a plus. 2 minus -10 is a plus. 2 plus -10 is negative. So this overall region is negative. And then if we stick in 0, it's 2 times 2 is 4. That's positive. And there we go, he's right. Don't just assume that you have the right answer. Make sure you show some validation to it. How would this have changed? Or would it have changed? Actually, let's finish that thing real quick before Redden looks up and goes, that wasn't done. How does this change if we did x squared minus 4? Or does it?
Yeah, it's the ultimate.
We can simplify that.
I just knew this was coming. Like the moment he said, how would it change? I was like, yeah, he's going to do that now.
It's too easy to read me, you think. As soon as you think you've got me identified, I'm gonna pull a Redden on you.
No.
He's like, no, don't do that, don't be a Redden. Please, don't be a Redden.
Once enough.
Because first I played it before.
There's 2 Reddens.
This is once enough.
There's 3 Reddens. I know at least 3
And it depends
Reddens.
on who shows up. I have medication for this.
No,
Which Redden shows up on any particular day.
I was referring to John Tracy and Sarah, but
That's on the medication.
I don't know if you have any other kids. I know Sarah, I've met.
Oh, I was talking about.
Sarah, his daughter is thankfully nothing like him. Although she is smart and in the STEM field, so there's that. I guess there's some relation to what he does. It is apparently his child. All right.
She's an alien. Teenage girls are aliens.
That's fact.
Wrong with teenage girls. Don't understand that. Any teenage girls in this class?
Teenage boys are easy to figure out.
Teenage boys are easy. Just give them a video game and.
Or
Teenage girls are difficult.
a special magazine in their hand, they're good to go.
Video games.
I get what you mean.
Teenage boys are easy to control. Put a pretty face in front of them and have the pretty face say, this is what I want you to do, and they'll do it.
Back to the sense.
All right, let's try -10 and 10. Easiest one to check first is 0 though. We got -2 and +2, that's gonna be a negative, which will make these positive. That's a negative and a negative, so that's positive, positive. Yes, we are going outward, it goes the other direction. Don't just assume you know which way it is. And it's important to note, these are not interchangeable. 4 minus x squared minus 4, not, they look the same. They're related, they're off by a -1. All right.
So there's no 2. Grab it.
Oh, what did Mr. Jones bring, what the hell? Let me give you guys a few minutes to figure this one out. I'm pretty sure at least Dill thinks he knows what he's doing, but we're gonna find out. Take a couple minutes, figure out the domain on this one if you're not doing Alex. The process hasn't changed, we're still doing greater than or equal to 0 on the inside. In the radicand. I'm confused why some of the people didn't show up for week 2. Like, don't you have to be here for both weeks to get the stipend?
Yeah, they might.
Why show up for 1 week and then leave?
Good question.
They wanted to see how it feels. They wanted to give it up. See if it was actually.
Well, you can do that in 1 day or 2 days, not 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were doing it right. We were saying the wrong point. Yeah, because 1 over square root of 50. We'll do it.
So they always want you to actually.
What?
It's square bracket, 2 to 3, union 3.
I'll find out, I haven't done it yet. Waiting on Dell, it looks like he's still working on it.
Put the 4 and 6. And what do you want? The domain.
Tom, is it Tottenson or Tottenson? Tottens. Tost, there's an S in it.
Yeah, they misspelled it.
Oh, son of a, that's fucked.
I mean, it's pretty much misspelled and mispronounced always anyhow.
Yeah, but Tostenson's easier
Yeah,
to, if you see
phonetic.
the S in there, it
Yeah.
kind of spells itself.
Well, then like.
Pronounce it.
They toast.
That's just because they don't know how to spell toast.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Well, there's a last name like Toasty, I think, T-O-S-T-E.
Is there?
Have you ever seen that? No?
No.
Yeah, I pronounce it that way. It's a Norwegian.
Do you go by,
I just like
Professor
call me
Tom?
Tom. Yeah, or at least let them say Mr. T or something like that.
I pity fool.
Yeah.
Mr. T is awesome. That's, there's no other name for him now.
Yeah.
Mr. T. Does anyone in here know who Mr. T is? Or is that too old for, like, it's too old for a lot of you, isn't it? He was only 18. What else was he on? I don't know. He's on other stuff. Big beefy guy, mohawk, wore a lot of bling. I pity the fool. Oh, he's getting help back here from Mr. Redden. Look at this cheating fool. Look at this cheating fool.
Maybe I should get.
So, we can include the 2. We cannot include the 3s because they're in the denominator. Look at you getting help. I saw.
Nah, was I getting help? Come on. Yeah.
I saw you getting help. It's not because you wanted to hang out with Mr. Red.
I have my answer.
No, Dill, you have
I'm
to
just gonna wait.
You have to do it this way.
I'm just gonna wait because it's no use getting myself disrespected.
That's what you gotta do, and then you do it.
Yeah, I know.
scientifically. You can't do that mentally. You're trying to do it mentally.
There's just too many steps here to try to do it mentally.
Your brain is too fragile.
Negative, negative, negative gives me a negative, negative, negative is a negative region. 0 is negative, negative, positive. So we have a positive region and it should alternate. This is positive, this is negative, this is positive. So that's a negative.
Ah, that's the part you missed.
2 to 3 is fine.
Because you can't do it anymore, there's too many steps.
Positive, positive,
You can do it in your head for like 3 minutes.
So we want positive region is this. -3, not including -3, up to 2 inclusively, in union with 3 to infinity.
It's broken, it's short circuit.
I just made that -3 to 2.
No, because you did it in your head.
No, I did not do it in my head.
That's doing it in your head.
If you did it on paper, then you shouldn't have made a mistake. Well, that's not true. I do it all the time, don't I? I've done it in here already. I even started doing it wrong right here. I have a bracket.
It's not bad, they're gonna be do that.
All right. Other stuff you should be able to do with radicals. Did you need it back up? You, are you good?
I just I just did 0 squared minus 9, I didn't do 0 plus.
So the two on the top matters. Gotta put it back. This one was hard, and you're like taking it away. This one's way
I
higher.
don't know
This
who's
one's
paying
higher.
attention to me and who's not.
So the thing that's throwing them is the 2 is a critical value, where it looks like only 3 and -3 is a critical value.
Oh, no, they all are.
They all are.
Except the top can be equal to, and the bottom is, since it's in the denominator, can't be.
Which is a reasonable mistake, because we've always said like the bottom
Right.
are the restrictions or whatever.
There's two mistakes you could make there. One would be forgetting that you can't include the denominator. That's the one I expected. The other one, focusing only on the denominator, is something I didn't expect, but I guess that's a reasonable mistake.
It is a reasonable mistake.
So it's better off not thinking about it as in where is the domain restricted, but where does the domain exist? If you're thinking about just restrictions, then you're focusing on the denominator
So that makes
as a
this
habit.
step important, but then once you do this step, that's a difficult problem. That's a tough one.
Yeah. All right, is everyone good? The following stuff you should be able to do without pulling out a calculator. I know Mr. Wren is gonna laugh and say, no, calculator for everything. But you should practice getting this done without a calculator. Let's combine these. How can we combine them? We should factor the 45, right? Simplify it. So if I factor the 45, I got 9 and 45, or 9 and 5, which means I can do plus 7 times square root of 9 times, I'm deliberately going a little bit slower, just to remind you all. Radicals can, if you split into factors, you can make it into 2 different radicals. And that one's done, that's a 3. So 7 times 3 is 21 root 5. We've got 15 root 5. We combine them. These are the same, so we combine the coefficients. 36 root 5. Coefficient seems like the wrong word. That's still what we use on variables. But we can treat it like a variable in terms of combining it. So hopefully you don't need to pull out a calculator to simplify 45. You should know your times table. It's up to at least 100. If you're going into the sciences, you should. If you want to be a Walmart greeter, then you probably don't need it.
It's a trick question.
That can come out, this comes out, this comes out. That comes out as a 5, this comes out as an x. There are 4 of the y squared, so we're gonna have y to the 4th. We're left over with these pieces inside. You should get that. Are you pleased with yourself?
Yeah. With basic math, it's like you know what you're doing, but then you're always scared like, what if I mess up on this? Because then you're going to disappoint yourself that you didn't know. So it's a to-and-fro situation. So I'm just always waiting, like just go.
Right? Take every win you get. All right.
You're like, and
I recommend you make your ledge out front on your radicals pronounced. Make it jut out like that eave on a roof. Because if you don't, it can easily look like 5 cubed times the square root of 2. But this is clearly sitting on the ledge. It's part of the radical. We're looking at cube root. So definitely you want to like make sure this ledge here is noticeable. So what's 128? That's 2 times 64. That's 8 times 8.
The side has 4 cubes.
These are 2 cubed.
Yeah.
2, 2, 2. 2, 2, 2. So that's a 2 cubed, that's a 2 cubed. We'll be able to pull out 2 times 2 on that one, leaving that one behind. So we've got 4 plus 5 is 9. Cube root of 2.
yeah, so it's okay. I was just that. Yeah, just gotta you gotta get better.
Let's excite Mr. Redden. Mr. Redden was excited about the next topic. That's okay, he'll look up. What? Fractions and exponents, what is this bullshit? Are we doing the fucking wave back there? What the hell is this?
This is the best part of math. Point was a negative.
It's the only part that he knows, that's why, that's part of it, you know.
The distance, they're probably, distances are negative.
So, in case you've forgotten, on a fractional exponent, this gives us the root. This is the power inside. So I could, I'm not going to, because I actually think it's easier to work with these as exponents. But just to point out, x to the 3/4 is the same thing as the 4th root of x cubed. The exponent is not on the deuce. Those are separate. 5 times 2 is 10, times 3 is 30. Then I have this. What do I do with that? Or can I do anything with that?
Find that common denominator.
Why? We want to add them, right? When we have two things multiplied together, we're going to add the exponents. This is 30x to the 3/4 plus 1/5. But if you leave that on a test, you're going to lose points. So get a common denominator. If we've got 3/4 plus 1/5, I'll just multiply this by 5/5, this by 4/4. I get 15 plus 4/20, 19/20. This is 30x to the 19/20. This is not the best part of math. And it's a good part. I like it. Have you played around with partial fraction decomposition?
Oh, God.
Partial fraction decomposition is good stuff. It's super cool. Taking one fraction and ripping it apart into a bunch of fractions? That's super cool.
This is an unpopular opinion, but I like geometry like the most.
You like geometry the most?
Yeah, and then trigonometry.
I don't know that that's an unpopular opinion. In fact, if we go over most people are more comfortable with shapes than math.
San Diego and
All right, you guys ready for more?
yeah, yesterday also in the physics class.
All right, try your hand at this one.
Did you get it right? Yeah.
I'm not gonna keep throwing stuff at you that you already know how to do. The point is to remind you of a whole bunch of different shit. Do it. What is this bullshit?
Done.
You're done?
Yeah.
What's the answer?
6 by root 5.
6 what?
By root 5. 6 upon root 5.
Okay.
Yeah, I just call it by.
6 root 5.
Put in the box.
So you say, so you're going with 6 root 5?
Yeah. 6 over.
6 over root 5.
Yeah. Upon, over, by.
Well, that's a start.
I mean, you want to rationalize it? Oh, that's this.
That is gonna get you marked wrong.
That's fine.
In fact, you did the easiest part of it. You did it the easiest part. You're gonna get more points taken away than you're gonna earn doing some shit like that.
Root 5 upon 5. You want it in mixed fraction?
You gotta, if you wanna go into a STEM field, you gotta up your game. No radicals in the denominator.
I do math because I like it.
Alex is wanting you to rationalize.
That's what we call it, rationalizing the denominator. And now you're like all for it? As soon as we call it rationalize, you're okay?
No, I don't like,
You gave me a boo
I
earlier.
just like calculating in geometry. I don't care what it looks like.
You start to say to rationalize, then you rationalize.
Yeah.
It doesn't, then.
Yeah.
We don't, later on in math, we don't rationalize.
Yeah.
No, yeah. But
I'm finding professors and that supports me, that's good.
don't tell him that, Mr. T.
I have Mr. Baker on my side.
The point is to practice the good shit.
Yeah. But what is it, making sure you read the description?
Yeah.
All right. Simplify. Yes, let's go with simplify.
Okay.
I thought that was implied, but I guess I should announce simplify.
You should. Yeah.
Is that air guitar?
I'm trying to learn.
Wait, hold on. He's trying to learn air
No, I'm
guitar.
trying to learn guitar.
Air guitar? I know air guitar.
Well, doing this does not learn
Yeah, I
guitar.
know, it's.
Like, if that learns guitar, I'm a really good pianist. There was a hard T at the end of that
I
word.
slept a lot yesterday and now I have a lot of energy.
Did you do this?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
1 plus root, no, -1 minus root 17 upon 2.
Anyone else, does anyone else need more time? What do I do? Multiply by the conjugate. What is the conjugate?
The opposite sign of 1 minus square root of.
Define opposite sign, because that makes it sound like -1 plus.
Just 1 plus square root of 17.
There we go. These are conjugates. This is a minus b, a plus b. We know what this turns into. That's a squared minus b squared. But if we do it on bottom, we gotta do it on top. Why do we do this? If we do it on the bottom, why do we need to do it on top? Who gives a fuck about the top?
Cancel it out and that's multiplying it.
We don't wanna change the value, we're multiplying it by 1, and this is effectively 1. Okay, good. So we got 8 plus 8 root 17 over 1 minus 17. Maybe I should have left that 8 factored out, right? This is negative 16. So we've got negative 1/2, 1 plus the square root of 17. Or negative 1/2 minus 1/2 root 17.
I don't know that. I don't like it. You wrote it as.
So when a student asked right before this started, but a lot of you guys were busy doing other stuff. On Saturdays, I will be in here from, or not here, but the Mesa Center from 9 to 12 in the main semester. We're helping students with math. So come on in if you need help.
You can help with Calc 3 as well, right?
Of course I can help with Calc 3. I can help with all of it.
Just gotta be sure.
I love Calc 3. Calc 3 is, that's what my graduate work was on. Really, 3D vector calculus. All right,
Professor Jones,
that's me.
what's 2 to the power of 0?
What do you think it is? No. Anything to the 0 power other than 0 is 1.
Oh. But that doesn't make sense. If 2 times 0 is 0, 2 to the power.
It's not times though. 2 to the 0 is like doing 2 to the 2 over 2 to the 2. Because we subtract.
Okay. So there's imaginary 2 minus 2 there.
Let me do this a different one. If we had x to the 5th over x cubed, you would do x times x times x times x times x. You can cancel out sets 3 of them, leaving behind 1s, and you would have x squared. That is the same as x to the 5 minus 3. So when we're dividing variables with the same variable with different exponents, we subtract the exponents. So if I apply that to x squared over x squared, x to the 2 minus 2 would be x to the 0, but this is clearly 1, because that cancels that. That better? Did you not listen to Mr. Weaver there?
He was asking me this as I came up, and I was like, what?
You didn't believe him? Mr. Weaver showed up to the Saturday things. It was at Starbucks at the time. Mesa wasn't open on the weekends, so I was doing a Saturday stint, and he would show up there. For Calc 3.
You said 9 to 12, right?
Yeah.
Got it?
What's going on with this one? What do I do here?
Right. Oh. See that.
That's that's the answer. What do I do?
You reciprocate it and then you find.
I'm gonna do the flip it first to change the sign. And then we could do the square root. That applies to each of them. Because this is like square root of 9 over square root of 16. You get 3/4.
Right, screen.
How's it? I'll give you guys a little bit of time to work on Alex, then we'll do some more radical stuff. Next up will be radical equations.
Someone asked. Radicals, can I do this? Oh, I know how to do it.
Thing gone. Thank you. Really?
I don't. Can you do that?
That's showing up in Alex?
Well, they're getting the log section confused with the radical section.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to log yet.
So can you do this, guys? If you have 2 to the x, and I take the x root, you get a 2.
Oh, that's what you were trying to say, okay. I didn't know the red was the action. I thought it was,
Does the x root of 2 to the x equal 2?
What if x is zero?
I love that.
Well, x is a variable, so x could be -1, in which case the universe breaks. X could be 0, in which case the
Why is it-
world ends. Because you don't know what x is, so you can't have that as a root plus. Once
How
x
does
becomes a
negative
root, it's
make
like game
it
over, it's made it more complicated. You can't do that.
How does negative break it?
No, this is not good math.
I'm not against that.
We can write 4s² and into log base 2.
So yeah, you can't do radicals with variables. Here you have to use the logarithm.
or rewrite 4 as 2 to a power and equivalent the sides.
Well, yeah, I didn't mean for that to happen. It's just random stance, random calculus. Ooh, can I cancel the natural logs?
Hell yeah, let's do it.
Wait, can you?
I knew it was a question.
No.
I don't think so.
Why not? Right?
It's gonna give us a 2, xe does equal 2. Because 2 squared is 4, why can't we do that, Mr. Red?
I mean, it might work for this one, but it's a function, you cannot cancel
A
functions.
singular example is never proof that something works. It works here, but only because it's lucky.
Log base 2.
So.
There's no log base 2.
So then, how do you get 2 x?
Or 2 squared if there's a log negative 1.
Well, you gotta memorize what log looks like.
So that means that there's no x-axis.
What the hell does log look like?
So like 2 to the power of something is that.
That's not log.
It's not log, it's not.
It's the inverse of that.
Try something like,
Just do the inverse of that.
try and do like plus.
No, that is correct, y equals 2dx.
That is an exponential, that is not a log, I promise you.
No, I said the wrong word, that's what I wanted.
Okay.
I said the wrong word. 2dx looks like that, and then you should. Brain doesn't work in this class. If you're gonna do my C, brain math.
2 to the. Yeah, 2 to the 4th.
You guys suck.
Wow. How do you have a higher rating than me when you're telling students they suck?
Oh, here it is, right. And then I have my other.
Do I need to tell you all you suck?
Yes.
When you get good at this.
There's nicer ways to say you can do better.
I might quit the tutor job.
So we know.
Is it saying to graph the x dimension? It says, oh wait, it says also draw the axis. Yeah, it says also draw the axis. Yeah, I know that x two.
What's an asymptote?
I don't know, is it?
It is a line the graph cannot cross.
It's between 2 points where the line can't cross. Like
It's a line they can't cross, just, you don't need the between 2 points.
So that one.
So if he showed it better,
yeah, never noticed that. Oh, so.
I know how to stop Reddit. I'm gonna hide the markers tomorrow. Make him beg for them. So Tamara, how do I join the cult? Is this like a Fight Club, but Fight Cult? There isn't, the first rule of the cult is there is no cult? You're supposed to wink when you do that.
Yeah. He's still learning.
She's young. She's a cult leader. She lives on a compound.
Oh, we're gonna start a cult.
No, we're not she has a cult. She lives on a compound. She's got this giant set of land that I don't know. I'm sure there's goats out there. You never have that much land without goats or some form of grazing animal. And it seems like a cult should have goats for like the satanic part. Because for some reason, Satan got associated with goats.
Because if you make it like this, x is greater than -2, and x is greater than. Then you're gonna go
Coming out one end or the other, take your pick.
But this, and then you gotta figure out, well, this right here, the function that says before I never
We'll start up again a little bit. I'm giving people time to stretch their leg, go to the bathroom and stuff. Some people are not in the room right now because of that.
But it's not the same thing as
Yeah, but there's more to it. So you plug into the middle, but it's also.
yeah.
I hear you.
What? You agree?
Okay, so you got one. I changed this to negative. Raising up.
When you plug in -5.
Okay, but I found,
Yeah.
because I saw for the horizontal axis, which is 2, $500.
What are you teaching?
So here,
Yes.
X is smaller than 1.
so I found a horizontal axis.
And X
It was plus
is
horizontal asymptote, or horizontal asymptote. Because of the plus. If you let x equal 0, then y equals 1 plus 1, which is 2. And then that's not and so normally when there's no shift on the you're gonna have the asymptote zero. Take out the vertical shift. Yes. Oh, I see. Just line blank.
If you want to change the next one, one is where it's plus.
No, that's all this stuff is in this card.
Because they go to like, source one command wrong.
Okay, so we have it.
So it goes to the first of the contract. So like you just skip it. I can skip it.
So we're looking at so you need to make a selection, so we have the boundary. That's in the fraction of this section. So we flex the limit of that function. So the y-axis. So, because we're trying to find this function, yeah, right, exactly. And then from negative 2 to the left. Now, when two limits don't agree,
And that could be time.
sorry, limits don't agree, that means that the limit does not. What we do is, like for this one, because there's not like a equal for the right.
You know, it's like you gotta do it.
So it's like. Okay, so, A and B, maybe yeah, so the point is correct. Yes, I love it, the size and
Oh, I think.
I think it's just.
Check this out. This is one of their pages they're doing work on.
If you're not, you turn it in.
It's intense, huh?
So I did shit like that for homework for Calc 1 with Professor Hauk back in the day. And like after the second one, he's just like, if you turn this in again like this, I'm just gonna give it a 0. I'm not gonna look for it. I'm like, what?
It's pretty cool though.
Yeah, that's.
It's like when I would get my entire calculus done on one page. And it was literally like showing steps and everything, but it was
But he
all,
didn't like to like.
yeah, it was all crunched down. And I'm like, okay.
So the negative.
So it's in the second quadrant.
It already started.
Because when you subtracted your 2, calculate 2 is negative. Cosine of some angle is negative. Cosine is negative. That means negative.
So I can't just put like negative 45 and then
Negative.
All right, Dill, you ready?
Yeah.
Have you done all the Alex stuff?
I have a little left and I want to do it at home so that my mother thinks that I'm
So are you deceiving your mother?
no, I'm just delaying my work.
I just heard you say, so my mother thinks something.
Yeah, like, so that she knows that I'm working.
But does she? Because you're not right now.
No, like, no, that's not-
You are flat out, I'm betting a video game.
Nah. Nah, right to parent.
Who in here is not taking Calc 1 in fall, like is not, like, a lot of people are in here for prep for Calc 1. All right, so if you're taking Calc 1, who's got me? Oh, F you all, get out. Really, that's too far, Red can tell you, Red can say you guys suck, and that's good, all right. So who's taking Birch? Only one person. I'm trying to get it so you guys can see people who's gonna be in your class, start building bonds ahead of time, because let's face it, once you start going down the calc road, a study group's a good way to do it.
That's true.
Who's got Blakely? All right, who's got Blakely from 8 to 9?
Blakely the best.
All right, look around, see who's got their hands up. Those are gonna be people in your class. Build a study group with them, because you know they're practicing their math right now, and the rest of the people in the class is probably gonna suck, like Mr. Redden said.
Can we do limits?
You will in calculus. If we have time on last day, we'll do it, we'll hit it, we'll touch it. The general of it, I don't wanna give you like the full definition. Who's got Blakely from 11 to 12? So there's a couple of you.
Blakely's hard.
Blakely's fun. I don't know that he's hard.
Withdraw.
No, Blakely does the same kind of shit Redden does. I was in Blakely's class when I was a student here, and when students would whine about it being hard, he'd be like, but Mr. Blakely, he would mimic them. But Mr. Blakely, it's so hard. He was great. And so apparently, like, students like to be abused. People like Redden, they say, he tells them they suck.
Nah.
The Blakely thing was fucking funny. I approved of that. Who's got Miss Craven? Okay, I didn't see too many hands. What about Miss Harper?
If it were easy, everyone would do it.
Only a couple people got Miss Harper.
Wow, you're saying there's 4
I didn't even know
calculus
who I got
classes?
this.
There's 6.
6. I remember when there was only 2. We're growing. Wrongly, but we're growing.
Well,
For the wrong reasons.
Yeah. The law is changing. These are all the college algebra students. Getting screwed out of a good. That's gonna be a bloodbath.
1 hour, what's for lunch?
Come on, you're already thinking about that.
Yeah, what's for lunch? 2.
Alright, here we go, Dill. Solve.
Tell me what lunch.
Sure.
So this one, I think the ones that I've been trying to.
Go ahead and give this a gander.
It just feels so good doing this, right? But then it's risky, I don't want to get it wrong.
Why? This is a worry-free zone. The only thing that could possibly happen in here is I heckle you. And you don't care about what I say, or it shouldn't. I'm not your teacher. None of you took my Calc 1 class.
I always notice with these is they, a lot of times they won't isolate the radical
But I clicked it
first, you
But
know.
then how do you do the 2? So 2 is.
Right, I got somewhere there. We'll do one like that next. I like that.
Square root both sides and back to square.
Waiting for it. Or are we still like thinking how to type it
Stretch it, make it wider.
So do I do it 2 times?
2
hours.
Both sides. Giving me a lot of graph.
Collect all terms, one side factor, check your answers. Oh, there's a restriction on it, that one is multiple.
That's how I'm saying. This is.
On the stretch root.
So this one is, you don't
Are you done?
then you have to.
What'd you get?
3 and minus 5.
Did you ask Mr. T if he did it right? He's right there.
I had the option.
Are you? Did you check your answers?
Would you rather? Would you rather?
Plugging them in.
Yes.
Would you rather?
If you did not check your answers, you're wrong.
Or buy a handicap?
You always have to check your answers on these problems.
Yeah, that's right.
I know it's right. I teach this shit for a living, goddammit.
I know how to do it.
Mr. T is a great name. I wish I could pull that off. The best I could do is Big D.
My initials are TNT.
Big D,
T, really, is your middle name, start with an N?
Yeah.
That's fucking dope. His initials are TNT, like dynamite. That's what you just need to do. When you start the first day of class, just put the, I'm TNT. Dynamite. All right, so the idea here is if A equals B, then solutions to that also solve A to the N equals B to the N.
There's no stretch on that one, right?
This is not, this is a one direction thing. So we can find solutions to this using this, but we have to check them because not all solutions work. So, what do? We square both sides. Get rid of the radical. That's a root or a index of 2. So we'll square both sides. We get 15 minus 2x equals x squared.
Squaring both sides introduces the possibility of extraneous solutions, so you better check your answer.
That's what I was saying. I didn't use the word extraneous because that's a long word that most people don't, like, what the fuck?
I mean, those are the correct words, you gotta know how to spell it.
Can you spell it correctly? Yeah. Let's see if you can, because I know how to spell it. I've seen your spelling though. Oh, he got it!
wow.
Ah, I'm gonna broken clocks right twice a day.
Extraneous, you have to do the 3 clicks. That's so extraneous.
All right,
When you square both sides, you gotta be careful. Why?
That's why I do it.
Yeah, the reason.
remember, we've got the highest power says the max number of roots, or max number of zeros. That's what we're looking for. If you generate by raising everything to a power, you are increasing that number, and so you are allowing for more possible zeros or roots. What do we got here? X plus 5, x minus 3. So when we solve, we'll speed it up for you. But that is not enough. If you stop there, you're wrong. You're wrong.
Because then minus 5 is not.
Minus 5 is not gonna work, we can see right away. You gotta go back to the initial equation and check it there. Does that equal negative 5? Does the square root of 25 equal negative 5? Well, if we're allowing for the whole plus or minus, but we don't.
Yeah, it has to be
I might need
specified.
help on this one as well. You haven't tried it out like right now?
We're in the box section.
Yes. So just start plugging in. X is 0, or you do it.
Yeah, but almost or you could,
Enemy fractions.
yes, that's the whole thing on this. I even checked on, there should be, I even went on this, just double check it, and I was like.
And we have a valid.
That's what I was like, how the hell?
Well, zero is easy, when you plug in zero, you get one. Zero, comma, one is one.
Yeah.
We just got one. We don't want one.
So you didn't get it right the first time, did you?
I don't know how they want to.
Because you gave me 2 answers earlier.
Yeah, I know. But I just like found x equals what?
There's like this.
See, you try to take shortcuts, go too fast, this is what happens. I know, I'm trying to help you avoid pulling a Mr. Jones. This is what Mr. Jones did at COS. I did my work too fast because I was cocky and confident in what I did, and I would miss simple shit. Checking your work is easy to do. In all my math classes at COS, I only got one single 100% on a test. I got a lot of 99s and a lot of 98s. And the only one I can't bring it in, it's out at it's at my Tulare office. The only test I got 100% on, I brought in a 4-foot inflatable sword, Frostmourne from World of Warcraft. It was this big, had blown up, I carried it over my shoulder. The students laughed at me, the teacher laughed at me, but he's like, what the hell are you doing? I said, I'm gonna kill this motherfucker. And I got 100% on that test. And then I said, suck it bitches to the rest of the students after that, because they did, no, I didn't. I don't remember what I said. But I did say something like, I'm justified in my sword. Pump yourself up before you walk into a test. Totally. Don't walk in going, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh my God, I'm not gonna do well. You mind over matter this shit. If you tell yourself you're gonna do badly, there's a good chance you're gonna make yourself do badly. If you walk in going, this is my bitch, I'm gonna own it. Weaver knows this.
Can I negate studying just by getting in that mindset, like I'm gonna crush this?
Don't negate studying. Don't do this instead of studying. Do both, study, but then walk in going, I'm gonna kill this sumbitch. I would walk in listening to the Eye of the Tiger from the Rocky movie. I would shadow box on the way to class on test day. I got 99s and 98s on those. I came in with a fucking sword. If I came in with a real sword, they'd throw me out of camp. They'd call police. But it was it was a balloon. It was a balloon sword. All right.
Mr. John?
That's me. Or did you say Mr. John?
Mr. Ryan's actually Mr. John. I was
You're not promoting a
gonna
company.
ask if he was voting,
This
if
is
he
not
got
healthy,
the.
what are you doing?
Yeah, the red one's like, never mind, I.
Did you steal us from the Mesa Center? He did. He took them from the Mesa Center. He's gonna act like they're his. All right. All right, so you think you know what you're doing? Here we go. Let's kick it up a notch. Let's do the square root of 2 times x plus 5 minus 5 equals x. Yeah, they just get harder. Of course they do. Why would I give you, like, did you think they were all gonna be easy? The point is to practice and get all the shit down.
I ask you a question about that. I was finished.
Oh, you did? How did I want you to do? Just like. Yeah,
I just go one.
And you got it correct. Just like, yeah.
Here I go again on my
That's not
own.
fantastic.
No, I wasn't. I just wasn't practicing for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Break the tape,
I
break
was
the
like, oh my
tape.
God, this is actually
I
really.
don't know.
Yes, I was trying to.
And like live in a frat house.
This is impossible.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Then I'm check the toast, I'm like, this is all, let's put,
Yeah, he streaks in that movie.
Yeah, we're streaking.
I don't remember what it was called. I don't know.
We're like, woo.
Try to do
I have no idea. I saw it. I know I saw it, but I don't remember what it's called.
because I know I'm not gonna be like this.
Lunch is mountain lights.
It's not in Mike's.
Mountain lights and pizzas.
Oh, wait, oh, exactly. We ate last week at home, dude.
It's called old school.
I think it was the first time you were here.
did not get mountain lights.
That's the second, what's the second?
I enjoyed the share on my Chipotle yesterday.
Was this one here.
Sounded delicious.
It was really good. How are they in
I think I just heard someone else singing Here I Go Again on my own. You're welcome. You could blame that on Mr. Reddy. He demanded that I entertain you, and so I did. And I only said like 2 lines of the chorus, and it's already in your head. I am living rent-free in between your ears right now.
Okay.
Not you,
What does that mean?
I'm in your head.
In my head? That's scary. Can't I just square everything? Like, just square everything?
You can.
Square the square root, square the 5, and square the x and be done?
No,
Come on.
that's not what
I wanna
square everything
everything.
means.
Wait, what do you mean you can't do that?
See?
If
Square.
you square this and square this, you have to square the whole side.
I mean, all I do is just square the x and.
That definitely doesn't work.
Damn.
If you only squared the x, then you're only squaring one side.
Yeah, like,
You got guts.
Whatever you do to one side, you have to do the other to maintain equality, to keep balance. Balance in the force.
I'm not that's not words.
Maybe, but that's complicated.
You're such an inferior student.
It's my biggest L, but like,
That is not your biggest L.
I just need someone.
Having started playing video games just this month, that's your biggest L.
My real was like.
Don't divide by square.
today's just a bad day.
Now I kind of want to go back and look to see what Dill submitted on his computer science test. See if he put in, he played video games before.
I agree, that's why I found that my X, the very top to
Star Wars didn't have a so then we did it because that and their voices. And then when they came in, no one actually told. I don't know what that is.
So other than doing what Mr. like, kind of like what he said, but not what he said, should I square both sides? There's a problem with this, and it becomes, I'm gonna do it wrong real quick, or the slow way real quick. If I square both sides, I get that squared, then minus 5 times that, minus 5 times that, and then plus 25, and this equals x squared, and that didn't help. I still have radicals. So isolate radicals first if you can. You cannot always isolate them, but isolate the radical first. So we will get the radical by itself by adding 5 to both sides. Now we can square it.
Move everything to one side, make it function and grab it. Then the side before you square it.
I pity food.
Yeah.
I never use it. Yes, no, it's not use it. I don't have the calculator, then I just do it with.
This is 2 times 2, this is 2, 2 minus 5 does equal -3. That looks like a valid bingo to me.
Sometimes students are too lazy to do what you're doing, because it's a lot of work. Just assume it's easier to circle both answers.
Minus now.
Did I fuck something up?
They both work.
Did I do something wrong? That surprises me, they both work.
Oh, one of them is supposed to be negative. Oh, wait, no, that's it.
That's positive 2, this is 2 times 2 is 4 in there. I have the square root of 4 minus 5.
Yes.
Did they both work?
They both work.
They probably do.
If I stick in -3, 2 times 2 is 4, square root of 4 is 6. That's some magic shit right there, isn't it?
Scroll down, I can't see the top. Well, the degree is. The degree being 1, so you should get 1 solution.
I don't know, we have.
That's only true for.
It's generally a good guideline to follow, though. You're not always, this is an abnormal circumstance where both of them work. Usually they don't.
The degree and number of solutions is part of the fundamental theorem of algebra.
Is it at most the degree or at least the degree?
At most, but it only works for polynomials. This is not a polynomial. This is a radical equation. Integer exponents. This has a radical exponent. So that rule, it doesn't apply.
It's a guideline at that point, not a rule. It's a good guideline still, usually.
It's still hard to believe they both work.
Right?
In our.
You double check that, they both work.
If you stick both answers in, they work, so the rest of the work here is irrelevant, since I checked the answers and they work.
Yeah, they both work. That's just rare.
Yeah, this is a very rare animal.
The -5 is not part of the radical, right? It's separate.
Yeah, it's
Right, it's outside the radical. Up here, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an external force acting on the radical. All right, so let's kick it up a notch. I did want to point out something else to you guys, if you guys kind of like it. Let's see. If you're going through some of this stuff at home, I know Mr. Redden's got an algebra website up. Mr. Blakely's got an algebra website up too. And if you're taking Mr. Blakely's calculus class, you can see how he's going to be doing his algebra here. It's johnblakely.com/textbook. He's got all the algebra stuff, and he's got a lot of shit worked out. Like right now, we're going through solving radical equations.
Can you spell narcissist?
What's your website? Oh, you got OpenTrig and what else?
I don't think that's right. That's not.
I don't know how to spell narcissist.
What you just wrote was not right.
What's wrong with being a narcissist?
Not that I guess, everyone's different.
He's just got a website that he named so it's his. What'd you name yours? I forget.
JohnRedden.com.
I know, what is it?
OpenAlgebra.com.
It's open, okay, that makes sense, because the other one's OpenTrig, right? It's still a free website. Or if you want to suck up to Mr. Redden, because he teaches computer science. No, denied. Are you sure it's openalgebra.com? No, I don't know how to spell algebra, jackass.
I just said 37, alright.
Go to Google,
Just don't put the .com.
Maybe it needs to be www.
or go to Google and Google it. There you go.
Wow, that was weird.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, who's the narcissist? A link to his YouTube page?
Click on an ad, click on an ad.
I'm not giving you money. I'm not giving you money.
Click on 3 ads.
All right? Combo! Here you go, Jill. Upgrade! Solve this.
X squared plus 4.
Can you factor out a square root?
What do you mean?
If you move the square root of x, that's my first to the left side, factor it out.
You cannot combine them the way they are, if that's what you're asking. Remember, what's inside a radical needs to be the same to work with them. They do not act like parentheses. How would you do it normally? If there's only one radical? Just do it.
I guess it'll work. No, it's gotta be equal. 98.
Probably. I didn't work it out. I just grab one from a textbook. If I know the answer ahead of time, then I start.
I want to go to science now.
Like it's not 1. It's not 0. If there is, it's got to be between 1 and 2 or something. So let's just get you started. Let's square it. That's the right step. Let's see. Let me do it in my head now that you got me. That goes away.
Yeah, it's fine. I just want to run something where
So the question was, can I raise both sides to 100 power?
So we're gonna have square root of 3 over 2? Or, I haven't reduced. Yeah. Oh, you're right. I didn't square it again. Fail. Wait. 9 over 4. Hold on. Because when you do it, you're gonna have 1, and then you're gonna have -3, divide by -2, you're gonna have 3 over 2 here. And then you're squaring.
By -4. Right,
Why?
because 2 root x twice, -4 root x.
Oh, you're right, it is fail.
Yeah, it's hard to do in your head.
Yeah, I was skipping the 2, I was treating it like a 1.
Squaring it again.
Alright, it's 3 over 4, yeah.
Square it.
Alright, so we got x plus 1 equals, now remember, this is 2 minus root x times 2 minus root x. So if you multiply that out and combine like terms, you're gonna get that. Now, we still have a radical, but we have less radicals. So again, we will isolate the radical. So we get x equals 9/16. Does that work? This is 25/16. And we get 5/4 equals 5/4. Boom, bada, bing.
It should be 2 minus 3/4.
That's boring, alright guys,
1 minus.
what's wrong with this?
How is that boring?
X is 0.99999 forever. So if you multiply that by 10, you get 9.9999 forever, right? If you subtract the original x, you get 9x equals 9. So x equals 1, this is the same number? X equals 1, so what's wrong? Are these the same number?
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much!
Pretty much, yeah.
Did I do something wrong?
That's
It's
fun.
the same number. I'm tired.
I haven't seen that. I like that. That's a fun little mind bender.
Is this correct? Is
Yeah.
0.999 the same as 1?
Yeah.
You're an engineer.
The 999 goes all the way.
Where's the math?
It is a 1.
I have asked a very educated engineer, and he has said that it is the same. It is the same.
So believe it or not,
I'm gonna burn it. I'm gonna burn it.
He says it's one.
Equal to 1. You gonna be able to sleep tonight?
Yeah.
The same number.
The mathematicians might not be able to sleep tonight, but the rest of us.
Oh, for the rest of you, you're like, you're fine with that.
So the repeating 9 is almost like doing limits that you're gonna do in Cal 1.
I don't make up this shit.
I feel like that's bullshit, but
It looks like math bullshit.
it does look like bullshit.
But it is not. It is a fact. 0.9 forever is actually 1.
How do you subtract infinity from how do you subtract infinity from the
Well, you can't.
Exactly, so that's fine.
These aren't infinities.
Yeah, but that's not infinity. 0.9 forever is not infinity.
That is not infinity. That's an infinite number of 9s, but that's not the same as infinity.
Yeah.
Because infinity is the largest number possible, but any number you pick would be, I could always say one number higher and be larger. So infinity is a concept.
Yeah, infinity just means it goes on forever.
No.
No, it is not what it means.
Yeah.
Infinity is the largest.
It is larger than the largest number.
Possible number.
It's not a number. Infinity is not a number, it is an idea. Because as soon as you try to quantify it and give it a number, I can give you a number that's larger than it. Just by adding 1,
that's
it's
why-
no longer the largest number.
That's why you can't subtract infinity, so you can't say infinity minus infinity is 0, because infinity is not a number. If you don't subtract, it's not a number.
It's not a variable, it's not a number, it's an idea. And ideas don't.
So 9's going forever is not infinity. So this is your exercise. Start at the top of your paper and put 0.99999999999.
Don't do this.
9999999. And then in about a million years, it'll just magically turn into 1 on your paper.
It will never change,
Yeah, it will, when you get there.
but you will never get there. So it will never equal
you get there, it will be, when you get there.
It's one of those that feels like bullshit, right?
Did you?
Oh,
He's not gonna be able to sleep tonight.
What's you're really gonna love when you get to calculus is doing the area underneath y equals x from negative infinity to infinity. When you get there, this is later in calculus. You're gonna wanna say infinity minus infinity, and you're arguing that the areas cancel out, but it does not equal zero. I've argued with Miss Keene for a long time as a student here. I'm thankful I still passed her class, let alone got an A. Cause I said, that's some bullshit. I can keep going out one number farther, and they cancel each other out, cancel each other out, cancel each other out. As soon as we go say it's infinity, it's wrong. It's because when we say infinity, some things go to infinity faster than others. Is a good way of looking at it.
There's different kinds of infinities.
There's different kinds of infinities.
Different kinds of infinities. So think about the numbers. Check it out.
Like x to the x versus y equals x.
How many whole numbers?
Yeah.
Sounds like,
How many whole numbers?
there's no.
Infinity, right?
Oh,
So the infinity of these numbers is different than the infinity of these numbers. There's way more numbers between 0 and 1 than there are
There
whole numbers.
Why do you wanna get into this though, like, what do you get from doing this?
Depends on how you quantify size. This is
Because
uncountable,
infinity.
this is uncountable, and this is countable. They're both infinity, but this is a bigger infinity than that.
Oh, this is some of that theoretical math bullshit that I didn't take.
Yeah.
I went applied mathematics, because I wanted to serve a purpose in life.
I look you do this as well, though. It's interesting.
That's X, right? You just know the X.
So 9's forever, yeah.
I like mind involved.
No, that's a number, so x is actually right here. It's just one number in that continuum of infinite number.
So it's the infinite amount of numbers?
There's way more numbers here than there are here. Put your head around that. There's way more numbers in between 0 and 1 than there are the counting numbers. Way more, like way more.
How's that?
There's different size infinities.
What topic is this?
This is
at
called
the university?
countable infinity. This is countable infinity.
Is it abstract? What is this topic?
And then this is uncountable infinity. So when you get to university, having these two different kinds of infinities is kind of important. So when you get to university, you'll take Calc 1 again. But it'll be an upper division Calc 1 called real analysis, where you prove everything in Calc 1. The real analysis class, you prove everything in Calc 1 basically.
You prove 1 plus
And you
1
need to know the
equals
difference
2.
between the different.
There's one of those unload the fucking gun in your mouth. I did the applied math branch. I took real analysis for curiosity. That was a lesson in masochism. See it? Masochism.
And then this will blow your
Complex
mind.
analysis.
It wasn't bad.
If you-
I exaggerated, but it just didn't feel useful to me. Like, why do I need to prove 1 plus 1 equals 2?
all the
Why, like,
numbers on the number line is the same as all the numbers from 0 to 1, it's the same size. So there's just as many numbers here as there are here.
see, this seems all irrelevant to me in real life. Does this serve a purpose?
This has the same amount
The
of
war of the
numbers as this.
mathematicians in front of you live at Mesa.
Put your head around that.
No.
If you don't believe me, count them, and then count these.
You can't.
You'll have the same number.
But wrap your head around this, do you care?
Well, knowing that there's different size infinities is important. Oh.
I don't remember doing this in real analysis. Is this real analysis, or is it like abstract algebra or some other like number theory or bullshit? What is this?
It's the prerequisite, so it'll be like a number theory class.
Okay, I didn't take number theory.
You remember Aleph naught and Aleph 1 and Aleph 2?
No, I took applied mathematics when I left. I went down the I want to be useful road.
Search it up, I think the Aleph naught, it's like this funny N.
I don't even know what Aleph is, ALIF, what am I,
ALEPH. Don't you know math?
Like I could say it again, I went down the applied mathematics branch where I did useful
This
shit.
is pure.
Right. I was doing computational number theory.
There's all different size infinities, Aleph naught, Aleph 1, Aleph 2, Aleph.
Yours in what?
Mine's in art, bachelor's of arts.
Really?
Yeah, and my master's in MS.
So what about-
It's more pure.
Yeah, most math teachers have more pure math. Like I went down like when I left here, I did an REU the summer I left. And I was given topics to choose from. Like they give a list of topics and only one of them like appealed to me because it had an application I could visualize.
Because you didn't take my classes where I would have shown you all these cool things.
Just because this is cool doesn't mean it's
You avoided
relevant.
me.
No, I tried to take, I took computer
avoided
science
me.
1, you avoided me. In fact, you made it that I did not become a programmer.
Oh, scared you away.
Well, you weren't here.
Oh, did I take a sabbatical or something?
I don't know, someone else taught it and they were terrible.
Oh, it was Eddie probably.
It was not Eddie, it was a bald man.
Oh, that was, yeah, I took a sabbatical.
It's
We had to
the business
hire
guy or
an
something
adjunct.
like that.
We had to hire an adjunct. I remember that.
Was it an adjunct? I thought it was the guy in business, he was terrible. I'd ask questions and he'd come over and wave at my book like with a ruler like Harry Potter and go like the answer's there. I'm like, I read the fucking book, jackass. I know how to read, I'm a student. This is not me being incompetent, I have questions. And he just like didn't answer. So it kind of pulled red.
Well, you gotta learn how to deal with different kinds of people in college.
I did,
Part of it.
I still got an A in that class, but it was out without any of the passion from the instructor that made it fun.
And so now you're better prepared when you get a job to deal with the boss. That's, could be hit and miss.
You're gonna say he did me right by being a shitty teacher?
You gotta learn from that experience. It's part of it.
You know, I was in my 30s, I already knew how to act like a responsible adult. Me coming back to college was being responsible.
Did you know he was an altar boy? He was like a goody two shoes, like sang in the choir in the back.
Oh my God,
Weren't you?
no, I did work for the Catholic Church, but I was
Oh,
not.
I thought you were an altar boy.
No,
He worked for the church, he's like a goody two shoes.
I hung out with, so the dude that's got the coolest name in the Catholic Church, his title is the Vicar General. That sounds badass. It sounds like the military of the Catholic Church.
Like a red.
He's just like one step below the bishop, basically, each bishop. But Vicar General is just like, it's such a cool title.
I think he's such a vicar general. I was like, oh, he's like in charge of vicaring.
No, I worked for the Catholic Church for 7 years, the headquarters, the diocese, not an actual church itself, but the diocese, which runs
Didn't you
Like-
do accounting and stuff, right?
account, yeah. I was an accountant.
Isn't the Catholic Church like one of the richest entities on earth?
Yep, and they don't pay taxes.
Yeah, they're very, they've been around for.
What we count as nonprofit is there's a. Alright, while I was working, I'm like, this is some bullshit. Cause I would see endowment, like people die and say, fuck you kids, I'm leaving all my money to the church. And like watching 6, 7 figures roll into a special account for the church. I'm like, this house is not profit. This is some bullshit.
And it lasts generations.
But
So the interest is like enormous.
I totally wanted to start my own church at that point. Now, you can't, as a priest, legally take the money for yourself, but you could spend it on shit in the church that you think the church needs that you're going to enjoy,
Like a Tesla.
like a Tesla, or a BMW.
What?
He just thinks I'm targeting him all of a sudden. And that's now a church asset and you use it. But like they rotate priests, so like if you did that for your church, someone else is gonna benefit from it more than you will. I don't know why they rotate priests. I know it helps in some circumstances where there has been inappropriate action by the priest. And so they're like, we're just gonna move you to another parish where no one knows that you did wrong.
And then we'll just keep moving you.
There you go, there's some questionable shit going on with the Catholic Church. Anything with an organization that big is gonna have questionable shit, whether it's religious or not. The problem with the Catholic Church though is that you're supposed to be able to trust your priest. There's a level of trust that it transcends, like, you should be able to trust your priest as much as you trust your parents.
Well, maybe
For the
even
most part,
more
that's true.
because
For the most part, it's true. But it's those exceptions that really, the bad apple there is really, that really taints the whole damn barrel, right?
yeah, it's not just like an isolated incident. It's like all over.
Before the internet, we didn't know about shootings in other places. Like someone goes into school and shoots it up, you didn't hear about it, it wasn't important, it was local news. The internet rolls around, you know everything, but when we didn't have the internet, some priest did something wrong, you heard about that shit. Even before, and even when other shit wasn't heard about, that news traveled. Yeah, there's a lot of good people that are priests, and nuns and stuff like that. They mean well. There are some that would treat it just like I would. How can I make this a profitable venture? Can I buy that BMW? Will there be a PlayStation? Can I justify a PlayStation in my parish?
Well, yeah, for the kids.
Do they play video games?
Why wouldn't they? They're humans just like the rest of us.
Violence?
No, video games have violence.
Don't they have youth on it and stuff like that?
Yeah, they could justify it for maybe a youth thing.
I realize.
I would find a way to put a PlayStation in my parish. And then I would do it in the next parish. They make enough money. Very few churches don't make enough money. Some of them are barely paid bills in that. But most churches, if you're in the town's big enough, it's just like, break it in, make it rain. They're really smart about it, like, you need to tithe, that's a racket. Where you tell them they have to donate,
Or they're going to hell.
or they're going to hell,
Donate.
that seems like, that's the really shady shit right there. No, like, what do you need the money for? Why are you, like,
You can't plug in early because it's off the grid there.
For that awesome haircut.
Look, it's like if you don't pay your taxes, you're going to jail. So if you don't pay your taxes, they're bad.
right, good times.
Are we done for the topics?
Yeah.
Radicals?
Yeah, I think we're done for now, unless you want, like, they need to have time to work on Alex stuff, I don't wanna hog it all.
Okay. Alex time,
Isn't Alex time is about to end in 10 minutes?
half hour, hurry up. Oh, I'm so hungry, our meeting.
I still have all my YouTube, I recorded, Redden recorded every computer science class that I took with him. And I downloaded them, when I was gonna start teaching computer science. I should upload those courses to my YouTube channel,
I already ordered the computer.
because Redden and I in the same classroom is good times.
Last week, so that's why it's up.
You're probably gonna need that on.
Yeah, I've done it.
Right.
I was able to find one, $100 and use like the good one. Yeah, for a deal. And also, do you have that?
So first,
But there's a lot of cool things you can look at, so W3 schools,
I'll bring it up.
bring it up, W3 schools. And then click on the C++ link and you can start there. He's bringing it up. So you'll see the little C++ at the top, click that, and it's free. And this is where you would start, right here at the top. It's actually a pretty good, it's a pretty good tutorial. W3 schools, and you can.
Oh, well, they have Excel on here.
They have a lot, they have everything, but they definitely have C++. And then you just start going down page by page and it starts at the bottom. It's a good place to start.
Or you could take it with one of us. If you want to have it on your transcript, you can hang out with
Because you
us.
also get a head start.
Oh, that's right.
Head start.
Are you taking computer science?
I'm a bio major, but I went to.
That wasn't the
double
question. They're not.
Double major in university though.
Okay, but you can be a bio major and still take a computer science course. It's not mutually exclusive. If you're interested in computer science, it's cheaper to start here. The units are cheaper. And you have me and Red. Me and Red are the computer science teachers. If you find either of us enjoyable or entertaining, you're good to go.
If you don't, that's that.
Why's it gotta be AI? What the fuck? How about just bio and computer science? What's ML?
Machine learning.
Oh,
So you use data.
I should have known that from the source.
Yeah, data science at Purdue is good. I'm doing the data science at Georgia Tech, so on the same level.
I saw there was like 7.
You're so obsessed with Georgia Tech, man.
Data science, machine learning and stuff with the bio. You can like cure cancer and stuff.
You also can build, like do lead to bioengineering,
Bioengineering, it's like
where you're
huge.
building stuff
It's like
that
real choice.
the body uses. And you have to program it, shit like that.
To work with CRISPR, that's like.
Oh God, work with CRISPR, Jesus. We're gonna be a master of the universe.
Have you checked out Friday Night Live?
Not yet, I had to like,
They have CRISPR.
I don't know if this is your first
They
semester or
had
not.
CRISPR last semester.
Yeah, they did
I went last
CRISPR.
semester, but then I had to drop,
Oh,
go, because I had to take care of my siblings, so. But I'm going to try out this.
if you can, they were doing CRISPR.
Here.
Yeah, they were doing CRISPR here at COS at Friday nights as experiments.
Yeah.
Students didn't give a good presentation on it.
That's how I think.
You can experiment with a lot of that stuff here, that's kind of neat.
Why do you want to?
Scary. We played CRISPR, that's like you had your.
Of course, I've also seen them build explosives here, so there's that.
Like, boom explosion.
Like boom boom explosive, what other fucking form of explosive is there?
But like, I was like, just a small one.
50 caliber?
Like.
It was a barrel, it blew up a barrel.
Professor Jones,
That's
would you
me.
rather get your arm blown off by a frag grenade or 50 cal?
I would rather not get my arm blown off.
Stay away from.
But if I had to choose, I'm gonna go with 50 cal, because the frag grenade is gonna hit the rest of my body.
Well, like there was a wall and your arm was on the other side.
Now, this is very, why would I have my arm out? What kind of sick question is this?
A sick question for a sick man.
I'm still going with the 50 cal. Because I think the arm would be removed that way, relatively like shredded off, but the frag grenade just might ruin the arm without taking the arm off. But the 50 cal would mow through that, like,
It's gone. That makes sense.
What other majors?
I would rather you did it with a sharp sword though, because that would be nice, quick and clean.
You can just
Chemical
reattach.
engineering.
Chemical engineering, yeah, chemical engineering.
Heisenberg,
Chemical engineering.
Physical engineering.
meth dealer, chemical engineer.
Chemical engineering is great too. Chemical engineering, yeah, that's like plus ML and AI.
It doesn't need to add ML and AI. It's already money.
That's triple money.
You keep pushing your agenda here.
What other majors out there?
He's asking.
Biomedical engineering.
Biomedical. Biomedical?
Yeah. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, no one cares.
Totally about
No one cares.
One's a subset of the other.
Yeah,
No, not really.
come on.
Once
Go on.
Some of you are just regular engineers, right? Structural
Bio is
engineers?
by itself. Bioengineering and biomedical engineering are pretty much,
Yeah, it's not bio.
those are synonymous. Isn't that what, Mr. Dr. O does?
Structural engineering.
Stop.
Agricultural engineering.
Have you seen the AI generated structures? They look all organic. Those are cool. They're like stronger than regular engineering structures. If you ever seen them,
I'm calling bullshit.
they're very like,
Load it.
yo, do I build more?
I'm calling bullshit on this one. You gotta call him on his bullshit once in a while.
It's not bullshit.
He will feed you some bullshit. That's a classic red maneuver.
I write it. I want to write. Yeah, I love it.
They look like that?
How is that elegant?
No, it's like stronger than regular engineering. And it looks like more organic. So usually you do engineering with like triangles and stuff, when you build stuff, triangles, what?
That's what you just had. It was a bunch of triangles.
Well, no, it's a little more organic, and they're actually stronger structures because it uses,
How are those not triangles, Mr. Red?
I mean, right there's not.
It's because you're looking at a 3D surface on a 2D area.
But it's like AI generated, and they're stronger actually, so this is better.
I question that.
Like you would never, okay, that's fine, it's a fact.
Like, okay, so for example, Mr. Red, what purpose does this thing right here serve? Where it goes up like that and like that, rather than making a direct link?
Well, that's the thing with AI, it's a black box, you don't know, right?
It's generating stuff that may not be relevant.
You don't know why it's stronger, but it is.
I guarantee that is not helping. What is making this go up rather than connecting directly? How does that help the structure?
I just told her.
I'm gonna know, it's a black box, keep learning it's a black box.
Or it's wrong. Because we've seen AI get shit wrong all the time.
You're a naysayer, look at some of these structures, they're actually pretty cool.
Don't let them trick you.
AI generated structural engineering.
Or art, as we like to call it.
It's real. You need to expand your horizons. Keep up with the current events.
What is it used for?
There's like, you can do car chassis, I've seen it for anything.
Like, show me an application where this is just some art, because right now it's art.
I don't know how to spell chassis. These AI generated car chassis, they're like stronger than a regular engineered car chassis. So there's an example.
And how do we know they're stronger?
You can test them. You know, you can put it in a stress test, you know, push it.
So until they're tested, they're not proven to be stronger.
I mean, I
Right?
don't have like proof for you, but it's common knowledge that they are stronger.
How is it common knowledge that something that's never been built is stronger?
I mean, it's been built.
Designed by something that is new.
They exist, they're real. So typical construction would look like this, right, with their triangles and stuff? And so these AI generated structures are a little more like organic looking. And so it's kind of like,
They're better looking, I won't argue that.
kind of like, you know, kind of like your bone structures, right? It's just developed over time. But
we
you don't know
that-
why.
We think
But
it's
it-
stronger, but we
But
don't
like
know that it's stronger.
evolution like picks the strongest one because it's like, if you don't have strong skeleton, die, if you have a stronger skeleton, you live, so over the long run, our skeleton
You're
is very
arguing-
strong, but it's organic, right?
Oh, I see that.
These organic structures are just stronger, just like your body. Can't explain it.
I barely been.
So,
But yeah, you can't explain
have they built the car
why.
using it? Because if it's stronger, they would have used it.
Yeah, probably, I mean, there's these parts for any, it's not just a car, it's parts for anything.
Show me something that has parts. Not just an art or an image of a car that could be generated, but like show me something that's used for it.
I don't know, you're like putting me on the spot, I don't know, here's like a piece of a car of some type, like a piece. So that's a structure.
But it says car parts of the future, it doesn't actually say it was made for a real car.
Imagine working on a car like that.
It would be awesome.
How would you even like
Safe.
maintain?
You need a new part, good luck. Well, you'd have to probably keep like the design specs for all the parts. Then 3D print a new one. But yeah, AI, this is real. Structural engineering, it's big money. But yeah, I guess
I tried bringing both of them, but then
Wait, click close real quick.
that's not required.
NASA is using, I saw something, NASA designed new spaceship parts with generative AI.
Where does it say that?
There's your argument, there's a use.
So there's a part that NASA actually made. Who knows what it's,
Assuming the title is correct.
who knows what the part is? There's another one, Lockheed. So Lockheed's doing it. And it's like, if you were to do regular engineering, you know, these would be trying because that's what they teach kids. But when you have a structure like that, it's actually stronger. They work with less material. You know?
That's how
It's better than a human can do. And why? I don't know. Like patterns.
I'd have to read that article, because it doesn't actually say AI in it. It just says they're using 3D printing.
Yeah, and then they 3D print.
Now I'm questioning how strong that is, 'cause it's made out of fucking plastic.
Well, you know, you can 3D print it now.
And
When I got it, I just thought that it's something really so like it's also
It's changing.
it's almost 50, it's irrelevant.
Okay, mountain mics. Mountain mic.
Get out! I mean, have lunch, enjoy.
And
no. Yeah, I have to like physically